Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Let rain fall, let rain
And good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. I'm Stanton Salter, along with Acacia Courtney, our odds maker, Keith Fustel. We have a loaded show for you today to get you ready for our Fall Festival of Racing, featuring the 26th running of the Grade 3 Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash, presented by Express Bet. We have 6 other turf stakes. What a big day today is going to be the first of 6 Super Saturdays here on our Big Fall Meet. Glad to have you on our early show. You'll be with us this afternoon. Keith, so he'll be giving me some winners so I can hit some more pick fives. How are you both?
Doing well. I'm happy to be here. I love always coming to Laurel. Everybody is always so welcoming and should be a fantastic day.
Keith, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. We couldn't ask for better weather.
Yeah.
Great day, great betting card on tap, and I like some prices today on this card. I like some shots later on.
All right, I'm going to lean on you for some prices. I'll throw them into my pick five, see if we can get some blow-ups here. There'll be some long shot winners today for sure on Fall Festival of Racing. Let's show you everything that's going on. You get a free prize wheel spin from 1 to 3 today when you buy a racing program. We'll have a nice program today with all 12 live races, so go on, buy yourself a program, get a free prize wheel spin, and you can win wagers, betting wagers, event tickets, Laurel Park swag, and more. So make sure you buy a program today and get signed up. Go to guest services in the middle of the clubhouse. Make sure you can get a free prize wheel spin. So lots of action betting-wise, promotion-wise. Nice job by the marketing department and the racing office. We're going to have a big day today. We have a loaded show with a bunch of videos for all 7 stakes. So let's get right into it here. Let's show you the beautiful conditions we have here. We're going to be fast and firm today here at Laurel Park, and we're still on the All Along and the Fort Marcy from yesterday, right? So on the All Along and Fort Marcy turf courses today in the 80s, fast and firm. Couldn't be better weather than this, right, guys?
Absolutely beautiful.
Track is fast, turf is firm, definitely firmed up a lot from last week. Pretty fair for the most part outside. Yesterday on the main track was good. That was the place to be. We saw horses sustain wide runs. I'm going to hedge towards that with a lot of my dirt selections today.
Okay, outside on the main track.
It was yesterday, clearly.
Okay, we have a nice little carryover building in that 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. That's going to start race 6 today on the Big 12 race card. Carryover 3,000. No, I'm sorry, it starts race 7. Rainbow Pick 6 starts race 7 today. That's the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. A little over 3,000 in that 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 starting in race 7. Let's get right to it. We have a loaded show. Race 1's going to kick off the action here. We'll start the rolling Super High 5 in race 1. Every race with 7 or more horses, we have the Super High 5, and that has a low 15% takeout. Little carryover here in the opener, a little over 700 in the rolling Super High 5 here for race 1. So when they don't hit it in race 1, it'll carry to the second race. So keep your eye on that throughout the day. Race 1 also kicks off the early pick 5. Mandatory payout on the early pick 5. Low, industry low, 12% takeout on both the pick 5s. I hit the early pick 5 yesterday for almost 1,800. Hit the late pick 5 for a loss. So, but it all balanced out.
You're still in the green. That's
what
matters.
Still in the green, balanced out for good days. I'll be taking a swing here on the early pick 5 here in race 1. Keith, I had a hard time here handicapping race 1. I think everybody's live in this race. It's a tricky beaten nickel filly and mare, 3/4 on the main track.
Not a lot splitting these horses. Miss Wisher working her way back down in class. I like a little flyer here with the 5 Katie's Caddy. Really hasn't gotten any respect at the windows, going off at double-digit odds the last several times, but was thrown to the wolves back, a couple months ago. But I think she's worked herself back into form. Confidence is coming back. She was kind of against the grain of the racetrack at Timonium. Tried to make a little move, was steady, but kept on willingly. I think she's got tactical speed. She's going to be able to be positioned just off the speed and to the outside. I think that's going to help her chances this afternoon at a good price to get you started off with a price in the opener.
Yeah, real nice price. 10-1 there on the 5 Katie's Caddy. The 7-pound apprentice Luis Rodriguez, he won a couple races at Timonium. See, and so did Carlos Mancilla. Carlos Mancilla with 2 wins at Timonium. So I think think the 5's live. I go with the 8-1 shot here, the 7 Northern Prancer. Katie Davis becoming one of my favorite riders around here, especially on the prices. She had a nice price winner for Comlo yesterday on the turf. But I like the 7 Northern Prancer here for Mary Epler, 3-time winner here at Laurel Park. A couple good seconds at this level before Timonium, and I'm just thinking maybe didn't like the smaller track over there at Timonium. I think the 7 Northern Prancer gets back in good form today.
Certainly could be. I think the biggest story here is the big dropper to the outside in the 8, Miss Swisher. It was just too big a drop for me. I think we each used this horse in the exact, or at least the top 3. I went with the tactical speed from the rail with the number 1, Medi Marla Melva. A little bit of a tongue twister, but hope that she can kind of sit a good stalking trip from that inside post.
Yeah, nice win at Tampa earlier this year, and then got back to the winner's circle at Timonium last out. Jamie Ness, always dangerous. So I like the one. I use that runner in my top 4. I'm glad I like the 5. I'm 4 deep here with the 1, 3, 7, 8, but I'm going to use your top pick there, Keith, the 5, Katie's Caddy. I think you can get a nice price here in race 1. I think you kind of have to go deep here to kick off the early pick 5 in the opener.
We saw by our selections, we're all kind of all over the place. It's that kind of race. Not much splitting. All 8 horses.
Now the tricky thing is here, race 2. What do you do here? Is this a sucker bet or is this a reliable single here? The 6, My Golden Rose. Let's show the stat here. Race 2 is going to kick off the early pick 4, going 7 furlongs here, so claiming 10,000. Filly Mares never win 2 lifetime. Let's check out a stat here you have for trainer Michelle Nevin with her class droppers, and she has a big class dropper here in a second.
Yeah, it didn't really run well with her runner in the last race yesterday, but once again was kind of pinned down towards the inside. But let's take a look at My Golden Rose and the stat for Michelle Nevin over the last 2 years. 6 for 15, 9 for 15 in the money with 50% tag droppers on the dirt, sprinting ROI of over, almost hedging towards $3, $2.72. She's deadly when she comes down here, Stan. I'm not worried about this drop. They know their stock, what they need to do to roll through the conditions. This horse really hasn't panned out, but she gets some speed to run at in the likes of the 2 Intrepid Forest and the 4 North 8th Street. Stalks, pounces.
And I think, just to touch base on that quickly, it looks like Michelle Nevin's numbers are strong no matter what you did. I looked up 1 to 7 days because this horse is coming back very quickly in dirt sprints, and she's about 32% even with that.
So I have her on top. I think a lot of people are going to be singling the 6, My Golden Rose here in the second race. If you beat that runner, the early pick 5 could pay anything. I got all the changes except I missed the rider change. It's pretty important.
Yomar Torres will be on the 6.
Yomar Torres?
Yes.
Yomar Torres on the 6 here for Michelle Nevins. Victor Carrasco off all his mounts. He had a bad injury at Delaware a couple days ago. Our thoughts and prayers with Victor Carrasco, one of our leading riders around here. So he's off all his mounts today. We're all on the 6 here. My Golden Rose is going to be a heavy favorite here in the second.
Yeah, I think the key is to look underneath maybe an exacta prices. You think North 8th Street gets chewed up in the pace. I like a couple shots to 7, Marjorie Muggs. I think this horse is really kind of rounding into her best form and has been ridden to a T her last 2 by the X-Man, Xavier Perez, settling, making 1 run. I think that tactical will work again. And the 3, Not Tonight Bird, first off a barn change last time. I know it was Charlestown, but Isha is a 6-time winner. So it's gone against a filly that knows how to win. I think she comes back. She's got races on her page at Laurel that put her in the mix. She doesn't have to move much up off of that race. Just looking for a price underneath.
All right, be interesting to see what price the 6, My Golden Rose, goes off at. Certainly going to be a heavy favorite here in the second race. I'll probably key on her in the early pick 5. If she gets beat, then I'm out. Let's take a look here at the third race. It's the first of 7 stake races today, and what a historic race this is. The Salima and the Laurel Fraternity, they're 2 of the most historic races, stake races in the country, and this is a nice group of 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs on the turf here in the Salima. Let's take a look here, video spotlight of the 8, Wise Gal, a very impressive debut win here, sprinting on the turf against a tough maiden special weight field. Here's Wise Gals. This is the win on August 11th.
Pulled off an upset at just over 18-1 a debut for trainer Dove Houghton, who's really had a good couple months here of late. Stumbles a little bobble out of the break. Didn't really come away too keenly, but made a really good move into the turn 3 wide to get position. And what I like, this horse just was dead game, tenacious on the front end. Not a lot of experience. Obviously, first debut, you figured, this horse is going to kind of swap leads. No, she stays on her correct lead till very, very late and very determined against Lake Geneva, who came back to run a decent number at Kentucky Downs. Strong time, 104-1. Only 2/5 off of boys that were, experienced boys on the grass. That was Roby's Boy, Miner's Quest, horses that have run well in Allowance Company. The time is there. The figure is there. Wise Girl going to be awfully tough. I think it's her or the one in race number 3 getting started with the stakes in the Salima.
Dove Houghton, a very good trainer around here. She's paid her dues, longtime assistant to trainer Tony Dutcher, and she's been very successful on her own now since 2004. And she trained the dam here, Wise Gal. Spirited Game won the Conniver right here at Laurel for Dove Houghton. She made over $270,000. She was 0 for 2 on the turf, but that's okay. We already know Wise Gal likes the turf. She's a half-sister to Good and Proper, who made about $100,000. So Wise Gal comes from a nice family. Einstein, he won on the turf, dirt, synthetic. He won on everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much could do everything, and I caught up with trainer Dove Houghton yesterday. We'll hear that later on today, but she was actually a little bit surprised to see this filly win first time out, but was really pleased with the way she came out of the race. So I think also tactically speaking, I like that she kind of sat a little bit off the pace, even though you brought up a great point, Keith, that she didn't necessarily get that quickly out of the gate, but I think there's a lot of potential speed to her inside, and she could just kind of sit off of it and make a nice closing run towards the end. You certainly expect the Wesley Ward runner from the rail to send. You've got Mel's Gone Wild, even 86 Mets as well. So looking to me like Wise Gal could sit a nice trip in here too. And
it's a nice group here. You have some fillies trying the turf for the first time. Let's take a look here. Video spotlight on the 3, Proportionality. This is a Maryland Sagamore Farm homebred here for trainer Horacio DePaz, and this was this filly. She's by Discreet Cat. This was the filly's debut win right here at Laurel Park at 4-1 against Maiden Special Weight Company. They went up and tried the Grade 2 Adirondack after that. That didn't go too well, but they have her back here at Laurel. She's training here at Laurel. This is the first turf here for this filly DePaz. 18% with a positive ROI from a small sampling, but she's a nice filly. We'll see if she likes the turf today.
And she is by Discreet Cat, 2-year-old filly. The mare was 0 for 3 on the grass, and I do think that she got really keen in the Adirondack, kind of rushed up and then couldn't keep up with the rest of the field. So she has to improve in my mind, but certainly respected connections.
I think the positive you get off of her, Lake Geneva was actually in that dirt race. You see her transfer to the turf, but that, as Acacia said, I couldn't find a whole lot turf, in this family line to suggest I'm going to put her on top. But you have to respect the outfit.
Yep. Sagamore and DePaz having a banner year for sure. So a nice group of 2-year-old fillies in the Salima going 6 furlongs on the turf. Let's take a look here at the 4th race, going 5 furlongs on the main track. Maiden claiming 40,000. Nice group of 2-year-old fillies here, and I didn't like any of the horses that have run so far, even though the 7 Enchanted Star had a nice debut for Gary Capuano. You get first-time Lasix on the 7. That horse would be awfully tough to beat, but I go with 4 first-time starters on top here in the 4th race, starting with the 6, Irish Access here for trainer Timmy Keefe. The barn, a sneaky good stat with debut runners, not a good percentage, but a positive ROI with debut runners. So when they win with their first-time starters, they win at a nice price, and this filly's by Blame out of that good Menifee mare, Access Fee. She was 6 for 10, a multiple stakes winner, made $159,000 around here. This filly bred by Howard Bender. We know how good a breeder he was, the late Howard Bender. This filly's a half to Blue Moon Ace, who's going to be one of the favorites later on in the Francis Dash.
Yeah, pretty nice breeding on it. I did see the barn with 2-year-old first-time starters was 0 for 35 over the past 5 years, so that's why I kind of took a wait-and-see approach with this one. I did land on Enchanted Star. Torres will be up on this one as well. I just think showed some promise against special weight, and I like the work tab since then, even though you can kind of say, well, she ran well against special weight, wide dropping, but the drop is a good move for the barn as well, and just looks like she's spotted well.
And she gets protected with the waiver. That's what we have here for this maiden 40. The Maryland breds, they can go in for the waiver and not be claimed. Enchanted Star, the Lasix goes on. We know Gary Cap was second time out. This is his move. The Lasix goes on. Stalked a pretty quick pace. That winning Buyer 65, very strong for 2-year-old fillies over this dirt course. I think Enchanted Star, with that experience under her belt, she's going to be a short price, but I think she gets it done. One of these firsts is really going to have to be tied on to beat her.
Well, I definitely, I'm going to use the 7 Enchanted Star on the early pick 5. You have to use that horse. I like some of the other first-timers. The 8 Petite Cousins by Great Notion, my favorite stallion here in Maryland. What an up-and-coming stallion Great Notion is. The dam was only 1 for 12, 28,000. This is her first foal, but I like the 8 with Jerry Robb. You know how good Jerry Robb is with the 2-year-olds. He's 19% with his debut runners. You get Jevion Toledo, Lasix in debut here for this Great Notion filly. Should get a nice trip from the outside.
Yeah, the outfit has always been strong year after year with the 2-year-olds. To the outside, you have the 10 Steamy Hot for Mary Epler. Doesn't run a ton of 2-year-olds, but talking to Mary, she's got more in her barn than in past years. I have to Purely Hot, T-Sizzle, all multiple winners on the dirt. Horses we're familiar with from running around here. Last two, Gateworks, 47 and change at Pimlico. That's not a real blistering track in the morning. That's pretty strong when you compare it back. Victory Chimes on September the 10th went 49 breezing. We're going to see Victory Chimes later in the car. That's a pretty quick horse in his own right. So I expect some gas for the 10, Steamy Hot.
Yeah, Mary trained the dam, would not. She made 74,000. This filly's a half to Purely Hot, like you said, made over 400,000. Some nicely bred first-time starters. How about the 3 for the Love of Pete? 2-year-old filly by Not for Love for Phil Schoenthal. This filly has 2 full sisters that have both made over 200,000. Well, a full brother and a full sister. They both made over 200,000. So good to see a Not for Love first-timer here on a big day.
And a precocious family as well. You have Grade 2 winner together, Indy, and then Graded Stakes Boys Can't Explain who won it too. Would I like to see Precocity on the bottom side? Even the mare herself maybe wasn't that great on the racetrack. She's been quite the producer so far. So I like this filly in my exacta.
Not one of our 7 stakes today, but a nice betting race there in the 4th race. You'll have a live interview with Sal Sinatra around the 4th race this afternoon, so looking forward to that. Let's turn the page here. Race 5, the Laurel Dash to kick off the middle pick 4 here, going 6 furlongs on the turf here for 3-year-olds and upward. 100,000 here for the Laurel Dash. And let's take a look here at the 3, Triple Burner. This was his win last October here at Laurel Park against a very, very tough 3 other than Allowance Field. Led every step of the way here for Linda Albert. This horse was second in the Laurel Dash last year behind Mosler, second at a big 40-1 price. We won't get 40-1 today on Triple Burner, but I think this horse had a trouble trip in the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. Black-Eyed Susan Day has had the summer off. Some nice 5-furlong works here for the comeback. You get Caramanos. Caramanos is going to score on one of these nice price runners he's on today. I like the 3 Triple Burner I use in my exacta here.
Yeah, certainly coming out of a good race as well. I mean, you look at that turf sprint at Pimlico last time. Richard's Boy came back to win again. Pay Any Price is just dominant at 5 furlongs on the turf pretty much no matter where he runs. He came back with a 102 Beyer speed figure in his next race. So I think Triple Burner certainly facing good company as well.
Yeah, Triple Burner. I know one person that's going to maybe come in and sneak in, make a bet and run. That's Vinny Perrone, one of his favorite horses. Triple Burner,
really?
No money whatsoever. Doesn't owe me any money as well. We've had some key scratches though in race 5, guys. We run through those. We have the 6 Correct Dream Mover, the 7 Full Salute, the 9 Joseph, and the 10 Blue Moon Ace, who's going to opt for the dirt stake. I really struggled with this race, lining it. Snow Day, I guess, is going to be your favorite right now. I'm not really sold on Snow Day at 6 furlongs. You look at the company lines, he's running great at 5.5 at Monmouth at Parks. He's kept the company likes of Pure Sensation, Mongolian Sunrise, Saturday. These horses are killers. It's that extra 16th of a mile, the extra 1/8, maybe that longer stretch. How's he going to react to that? Trainer does great with the turf sprinters. Spring to the Sky, with the late scratches, I originally like Dream Mover. I'm going to take a shot. I know you see the stat there, stakes 0 for 22 for Bruce Brown over the last couple of years. Can we get it over the top? I think Spring to the Sky is kind of coming back to form, overcome a little bit of adversity the last 2 starts. Look at the distance, 4 for 11. Reunited with Mike Luzzy. Yep. Maybe a little price. Spring to the Sky. I know the 8's the one to beat. Take a little shot with the 5 Spring to the Sky.
Well, I think you can. Sorry, Stan. I think you can certainly find some prices in this race now after the scratches, and you have to imagine from the rail that the number 1 Class in Cash, who's just such a consistent runner and has a lot of speed, is going to take a lot of money. I just don't like him sprinting. He's a horse that I just always see going a little bit longer, and I love watching him run. I defaulted into Snow Day because I think he's tactical, because you have some other speed scratches as far as Full Salute out of the race, and it looked like Dream Mover was going to be one of the major closers, but maybe Spring to the Sky and Snow Day kind of sit right in that pocket or stalking trip.
I like to cut back on the 1 Class in Cash. Hopefully can get a good trip from the inside. The 6 furlong distance, I think, sets up well for horses cutting back in distance. That's a long stretch run to the second to the second wire. Rider, please, on the 1 Class.
That's going to be Jimenez. Yes.
Okay. Who?
Okay.
Jimenez.
Alvin Jimenez.
All right, shipping in. Okay, a lot of good jockeys shipping in from out of
Yep.
town today, including the leading jockey in the country, Tyler Gaffalione, leading jockey in the country, and wins, 224 wins so far. You're going to have a live interview with him around the 5th race. Unfortunately, his Mount Dream Mover scratched from the 5th race, but you're going to have an interview with him today.
Yeah, he's based down in Florida at Gulfstream Park, but shipping all over the place. Was up at Kentucky Downs, will be here today, and Presque Isle this weekend as well. So pretty busy and a lot of success, certainly.
All right. right, so nice turf sprint there in the Laurel Dash. Let's turn the page here. Race 6 is the all-along, going a mile and a 16th on the turf here for Philly Mares 3 and up. And, well, Stuart Janney and the Hall of Famer Shug McGahee, they teamed up for a nice win here yesterday. Let's see if they can do it with the 5 on leave. Let's take a look here at her good effort in the Grade 3 Gallerat at Pimlico. A very strong second behind Cambodia, who's had a nice campaign this year. Since the Gallerat here, she came back, won the Perfect Sting at Belmont, ran a couple decent races up there at Saratoga. She's coming out of the Grade 2 Boston Spa, where she was 5th, beating 3 1/4 lengths. So she was 14-1 in that race in that Grade 2. She'll get a little class relief today. This was a nice effort here by On Leave in the Gallerat.
And I think last time out in the Boston Spa, Jose Ortiz kind of took the only shot he really thought he had, which was to attack Dickinson early on. She was running against some monsters last time in the likes of Lady Eli. So as far as class and company lines, I think that she definitely has the edge in here. I almost tried to get cute and pick against her, maybe with the likes of Light Our World, but I just think her class is really going to stand up in here. And Stuart Janney actually had a nice winner yesterday as well. We saw him here.
Yeah, with Forrest Boyce aboard, and Boyce and Shug McGahee, they've teamed up for a lot of success around here recently, especially this summer.
No doubt. Only gets class relief. Not a ton. I mean, some of these horses are in really good form. Light Up Our World, and I really think the connections probably would have hoped the 6 Gianna's Dream stayed in to maybe go ahead and force the issue of Juno, who looks like, she's going to be able to kind of roll and do her thing, what she likes to do on the front end. But Only is tactical enough. I think she can keep her in her sights, make that move maybe around the quarter pole, try to wear her down. But Light Up Our World will be coming as well in this race.
All right, so nice addition there of the all-along, going long on the turf there in race 6. Let's get a quick commercial break here. When we come back, we'll start with race 7, the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. That kicks off that 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 carryover, a little over 3,000 there for race 7. We'll start with that when we come back.
The all-new Laurel Park is beyond your expectations. Feel the anticipation.
This long shot.
Witness the speed. Experience the thrill.
Welcome back. Getting a little sip of coffee here, getting ready for the big 12-race card on Fall Festival of Racing. Acacia Courtney up here from Gulfstream. Keith Fustel getting you ready for the big day. Let's take a look here at race 7, which kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. Nice little carryover today, over 3,000 on a big day today. They'll put a good amount of new money here into this, maybe a little over 5,000 now to get that total score up to close to 10,000 if you can be the only ticket in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. That starts in race 7. Let's take a look here. Going 6 furlongs on the turf here in the Sensible Lady Philly Mares 3 and up for 100,000. What happened to Everything Lovely? Let's show you what she did back in May on Preakness Day at Pimlico in the very one. She led every step of the way for Kate DeMasi and won that day. Here's the race at Pimlico. Everything Lovely. She's going to be a big price here in the Sensible Lady. After this win, the very one, she was an okay second as the beaten favorite against Allowance Company at Penn, and then the heavy beaten favorite in the Jamila here at Laurel in June, where she was third, and then she just fell apart in her last race up there at Saratoga. Kate DeMasi, very good trainer, gets Horacio Caramanos to ride on the 6, Everything Lovely, trying to get back in good form here today.
And it looks to me like she is the type of mare that's just better when she can lead every step of the way, and I don't think she was able to do that in her last couple of races, especially being bumped around at the start last time. And she's faced certainly Miss Ella before, and Miss Ella has beaten her before, and Miss Ella, after the scratches, does look to be the one to beat. But I do respect Everything Lovely. If she can show that speed that she always has today, maybe she can kind of recapture that form that she had after a little bit of a freshening since July 24th.
Yeah, she gets a little bit of help. Some of the speed scratched out of here with the 9 CC, but even Rocky Policy, I don't know where the speeds come from this filly, but now all of a sudden she's showing some gas up on the front end. Paquita Coquetta, the 8-horse, awfully dangerous up on the front. Everything Lovely. I just think she's not what she once was,
Right.
and she might have to be used a little bit too hard. As Kate said, she was jeopardized at the break last time out when bounced around, wasn't able to do her thing. But I think she's going to have company, especially when they turn for home. Miss Ella got a great ride 2 races back, happened to be over at the Timonimo TV watching the Caress Stakes. Great ride by Rosario, was covered up, shifted out, and made a big run. No disgrace last time out when second to Ginger and Rye. She's going to get a decent setup today. She's probably got the strongest late punch, but don't sleep on the 11 for Kieran, Catching Fireflies. Would not be surprised to see her get the job done in here. Reaching the grabber for 25,000. She keys up against the right kind of horses. I mean, I think she gets a perfect stalking trip from the outside. Reaching off of Delacour, not really the easiest thing to do, but sometimes I see horses first or second time off the claim off him do okay. They still maintain the form. I think Catching Fireflies is going to be dangerous here for Kieran.
Will be coming from off the pace. A nice rally to win 5.5 last out here on the turf at Laurel. Should like that extra half a furlong, going 6 furlongs today. Loves the grass here at Laurel. 4 for 4 in the money, 3 wins and a second for the 11. Catching Fireflies, who runs first off the claim for Kieran McGee. J.D. Acosta will ride. I throw the 12 into my top 4 as well. Rocky Policy's been in sharp form the last race on the turf up there at Saratoga against Allowance Company. A good second at 20-1 up there for Decap. Got disqualified and placed third. That wasn't her fault. Should get a nice trip from the outside with that early speed and Toledo aboard.
Yeah, it looks like there is quite a bit of speed signed on, potentially on paper, as Keith had mentioned. I threw on at the bottom of my top 4 the 3 Cali 37, who cut back in distance and I thought looked a little bit not so much keen on the front end last time out when racing at Suffolk for trainer John Service. I had thought this horse was better going a little bit longer, but who am I to question anything coming out of the Service barn? I think they do such great work, so he'll keep her going a little bit shorter, but you're right, maybe the extra half furlong going the 6 furlongs will be right in her wheelhouse, and she can sit a good trip in here. And you might get a price on Alex Cintron, who I've noticed had some excellent rides yesterday.
He's one of our best riders here, no doubt, and a strong enough rider that might be able to get this mare to relax a little bit just off the pace. Yeah, has the bottom off of some of those route races. I expect a good finish out of the 3, no doubt.
All right, nice, sensible lady there in race 7 to kick off the Rainbow Pick 6. Let's take a look here at race 8, the Laurel Turf Cup for 100,000 3 and up, going 1.5 miles. Long contest here in the Laurel Turf Cup. Both Keith and I like the late pick 5. It starts here in race 8. Keith, let's take a look at your ticket first.
Yeah, $48 ticket. We're going to spread around in race number 8. The question mark, obviously, the 3 for Arnaud Delacour, first time coming in for the U.S. Connoisseur. I'm assuming that's the correct pronunciation. The 6, Infinite Wisdom, and the 7. 3, 6, 7 in there. 2 deep in the 9th with Awesome Banner and Whitmore. Spreading around a little bit more, 4 deep in the 10th with the 2, 4, 5, and 8. I like some prices in there. We're going to try to blow up the total. I think that's a key race to get a price for your pick 6s, your pick 5s. Moving along, 2 deep, the 1 and the 7, the obvious horses in race number 11, and in the nightcap, the 2 and the 13, $48.
All right, we have the same 2 horses in the last race, the 2 and the 13. Let's take a look here at my late pick 5 ticket. They're both $48 tickets, both of them. Acacia will have a late pick 4 ticket as well. You can catch all of our tickets and picks on the laurelpark.com website under the handicapping section. But there's my late pick 5 ticket. I'll go 4 deep here in the Laurel Turf Cup. I think the 6, Infinite Wisdom, going to be very, very tough on the front end with Mike Lovesy aboard. But this France shipper here for Arnaud Delacour, the 3, Connoisseur, first-time Lasix will be tough. But how about a couple long shots I'll use? The 5, Talk Show Man, and the 4, Motivational, who had a nice win on the turf last out for Jack Fisher. So both the 4 and the 5, nice prices here in race 8. Let's take a look here at the DeFrancis Dash from on my pick 5 ticket. I'm going 3 deep there. Awesome Banner, Whitmore, and Blue Moon Ace. The Laurel Fraternity, I go 4 deep in there. I like Majestic Dunhill on top. But how about the 1, Naughty Boy, at a big price? A very impressive debut winner sprinting on the turf here at Laurel Park. I like the 1, Naughty Boy, at a big price in the Laurel Fraternity. That is race 10. And then race 11, I think the Mary Epler horse is a lock in there. Victory Chimes, I'll key on the 7 Victory Chimes in race 11, going with the 2 and the 13 there in the finale. So we got some similar plays there on our late pick 5 ticket. And you get a price, or you especially get a couple prices on this late pick 5 or the early pick 5. That's when you really see some nice blow-up scores, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look here. Video spotlight for the Laurel Turf Cup. I thought they named this horse after me, talk show man, but they actually named him after Ron Smith, the late great talk show host on WBAL. I learned when I was taking radio courses at Towson. I would listen to Ron Smith and El Rushbo, learn on my radio. So here's a talk show man for Hammy Smith. Nice win 2 starts ago, and gets Xavier Perez aboard today, who won on this horse a couple years ago on the Henry Clark.
Yeah, I thought this was an impressive race because he is so wide closing at the end, and he just came with a really sustained run. It was after an extended layoff he finally got that win. A little bit of trouble last time in stakes competition and a soft turf as well. Speaking to Hammy Smith, he said they're coming in with no excuses today.
Oh, perfect. This is a horse he's won at the distance. I'm sorry, hit the board at the distance. I'm just, his last race, maybe the softer turf, but I expected him to run a little bit better. He bounces back. Is he going to get the right kind of setup for this race, the way he's kind of been coming from further back with a little bit more pace in front of him the last couple of times? I'm not so sure. I think Infinite Wisdom, he's the proven horse, and he looks like he's in the best shape health-wise he's been in a while. He's actually run some races in a row where you saw spotty form, just kind of in and out off of some layoffs. This horse looking at just nothing but ones on the front end. Not a lot of horses look like they want the lead. This horse is able to relax. Infinite Wisdom is proven. I think, I know he's back a little bit sooner than normal in the 3 weeks. I don't think that's going to problem. I think he's in good form right now. They're going to wheel him right back, and he's going to dictate. The question mark is the 3, Kennesaw.
What do you think? This horse lone speed or what? The 6, Acacia Infinite Wisdom. How about the winner last year, the 11, Renown, who went right to the front last year to win the Laurel Turf Cup for Elizabeth Voss, but hasn't been in good form recently. No early speed. Does Renown try to get back to the front end and challenge Infinite Wisdom early on here?
Well, it certainly could be. What I think Renown has that the other horses in here have some question marks is that this horse is 5 for 8 at the distance, and it is going a long distance, and some of them are trying going 1.5 miles for the first time. And I think Elizabeth Voss certainly does good work with these longer races, and this horse's record was appealing to me. Of course, you have to look at the number 3 Kennesaw for trainer Arnaud Delacour, getting this horse for the first time, when going 1 7/8 miles on the turf in Europe, in France back in June. And I think that this one, certainly distance should be no problem. You have to kind of wonder, first time Lasix, first time in America, all of those new things. And actually for the foreign shippers, it normally takes this barn a couple starts, though he does do a great job with it. I think if the 6 Infinite Wisdom gets loose on the lead, that'll be the end of it, but a couple strong ones that we might have to look out for underneath.
Yeah, I think Holiday Star is another horse you have to consider for Grand Motion. From November of 2015 to August, this past August, no real kick last time, but you look at the buyer, it's good enough. This horse is a stayer, and I think you have to respect that this barn kept this horse around that long and is going to give it another chance. I got to fear the 7 Holiday Star. And even the 4, you mentioned, Stan, Motivational might be a good priced horse to use underneath. You should get good double-digit odds on a barn. We know they can get horses that can stay around for a long time. No, this is not an issue at all for that horse.
Yeah, Forrest Boyce and Jack Fisher, they're 2 for 4 recently here at Laurel Park with a positive ROI. And Forrest, this 1.5 miles will be no problem for her. She ran a jump race over 2 miles. She rode in a jump race over 2 miles for Jack Fisher earlier this summer at Saratoga. So it'll be a nice edition of the Laurel Turf Cup, going 1.5 miles to kick off that late pick 5. Here's the feature of the day, the 26th running of the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash, presented by ExpressBet. It's race 9 to kick off the late pick 4. Acacia, I know you like the late pick 4. Let's take a look here.
All right, well, I'm going to use the 2 big ones I think are the potential favorites in here, Awesome Banner and Whitmore. I really do like Whitmore on top, but I respect Awesome Banner and his speed as well. Using 2 horses in the 10-3 sets of futurity, just going to use Majestic, Dunhill, and a little bit of a price with Therapist. Would have liked to use maybe a couple more in that race. It is the 2-year-olds, and it's a really nice addition of it. The last couple of races, though, I think that certainly there are some logical ones. You've got Marty with the Party, Victory Chimes, and I'll use Super Buddy. Several horses that maybe just have had a lot of chances and maybe are in a little bit of spotty form, and sometimes you just don't know what to do with those. I like the 2 horses that you guys like in the finale. I'll also use the 6 Return to Senda. Return to Senda. That's easier if you say it faster and don't think about it. But on the drop, I've learned that Reed Nagel is a sharp barn no matter where he runs, so try to get a price in the nightcap.
Okay.
All right, late pick 4. This would be a well-played late pick 4, with the first leg of it being a grade 3 DeFrancis sprint, and this race is going to set up maybe for some horse horses going to the Breeders' Cup Sprint later on this fall. Top sprinters in the country right here in race 9. Let's take a look at two of them, your two favorites, Whitmore and Awesome Banner. These two hooked up in the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint Preakness Day at Pimlico this past May. Keith, take us through the far turn, turning for home here.
Yeah, Whitmore, you see him there wandering out to about the 5 path, having trouble around the turn for Ricardo Santana, but gets this horse straightened up. Awesome Banner didn't really have an easy trip as well, was prompting out there the whole way, made a move into it and had the duel. So who's the beneficiary right here? Whitmore, and he sustains a nice rally to get up in time. You know, I can't take anything away from Awesome Banner, though. He was very valiant in defeat. You see Whitmore really leveling off nicely the last 16th of a mile. Whitmore going to be a very short price. We have scratches in here now. We're going to go over them again in the 9th. The 1, the 2, and the 7, correct, guys?
Yes.
Truth, Mr. Jordan, and Favorite Tail, and brings us down to a very condensed 4-horse field. That being said, Blue Moon Ace, lights out at Timonium. Absolutely pounded at the windows. Kevin Patterson, a trainer, has done tremendous off the claim. But here's the negative. He's 1 for 15 the past 5 years at Laurel, between Laurel and Pimlico.
Right.
I'm not going to go for that. If he wins it and runs that race back, he gets it. He's got a, Almodovar, good gate rider. This horse is going to get out and get on the engine. I think that's going to help Awesome Banner. He doesn't need to go and force the issue. I think he can move outside to the better part of what the racetrack was yesterday. Let's hope it stays like that. I think he engages Blue Moon Ace, and then it's obviously going to have to hold on Whitmore and Chubalicious.
Well, the Moquette barn, they liked Maryland so much after they won the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint, they decided to send a whole string of horses here for the fall meet. I saw them back there Thursday morning, 20, 30 horses. They got a whole side of a barn, and I ran into trainer Laura Moquette, the wife of trainer Ron Moquette. I ran into Laura Moquette. She's getting all settled back there at the barn with Whitmore. Let's see what she had to say a couple mornings ago about your morning line favorite for the DeFrancis Dash.
Yeah, he's glad to be back in Maryland. He loves it.
How's he been doing all summer, and how's he been doing this week coming up to the Dash?
Really good, really good. We're looking forward to this race.
What would have been the final preparations coming into the race, you think?
His breeze last week was his final prep, and he'll just walk into this race and then hopefully head to California.
Okay. How was the breeze? Where was that?
It was at Churchill. It was beautiful. He went a minute flat, galloped around there like it was easy. So that's the kind you like to see right before a race.
Good stuff. And what would be the ideal trip you guys would like to see him get in the Dash?
Just find a hole and make a run.
All right. Good stuff. Whitmore, how you feeling?
All right, so the 4-year-old by Pleasantly Perfect. He looked like $1 million. He's almost made $1 million. And Laura Moquette, she couldn't have been any nicer letting us into her barn, seeing Whitmore. Thank you very much to her. He hasn't run since early June, but it's been working lights out down there at Churchill, Keith.
Yeah, the lights out. He's fresh. And you saw that race, his performance in the Maryland Sprint. He actually came out of the gate very well. Had some speed and just kind of drafted off the pace, let the leaders go. I expect similar today, fresh off of some time. The long-range goal of the Breeders' Cup, will it be? He'll have to be close to the top if he's going to, beat some of the likes of the Awesome Banner. Blue Moon Ace is the way he is right now, and even Chubalicious. But he clearly is the one to beat. A shorter field, he's going to like that. He's going to find plenty of room. I think the jock's going to be able to make the move whenever he wants it. But Awesome Banner, a little better price in here for me.
You have Whitmore on top, Acacia.
I did go with Whitmore on top, but not only is he not camera shy for sure, he was loving all the attention, I think, at the barn. But I do think all the points that Keith brought up already about the pace scenario. Awesome Banner can hold on. He can always run gallantly, but it's been a long time since he's seen the winner's circle. So I did have a tough time putting him on top because I think there'll be some speed to the outside. Whitmore to close for me. I think he's really honestly never been stronger.
I have Awesome Banner on top. He's going to have his run-in shoes on to reverse the outcome here and try to beat Whitmore. But since the Maryland Sprint that Whitmore won, Whitmore was beat in the Grade 2 True North at Belmont. Awesome Banner's gone on to throw up a couple nice races, including his recent race in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt at Saratoga. This horse was second up there with the 94 buyer, so that was a strong effort. This is his home track. He trains here for Kenny Decker, who's been a new outfit this year. Kenny Decker been doing very well all year long. Let's see what he had to say about Awesome Banner, the local horse here for the DeFrancis Dash.
Everything is been well since we come out of the Vossberg. Last prep the other day was real well within itself, and we hope that he continues to show up. He's showed up the last 3 times we went over there. We've been keeping some pretty good company, so maybe we hope we'll have a little home court advantage, and we'll be able to do the same on Saturday. We basically, just been galloping. We jogged some. He's kind of a funny character, so he kind of likes to do his own thing in the morning, But we basically work him out of the gates, for his works, and he handles himself well. We send a work partner with him, and like I said, his work the other day was good, well within himself, and came back good. And hopefully we'll have some good luck on Saturday.
Well, the Kenny Decker Barn are class act, and they get the leading rider in the country, Tyler Gaffleone, to ride Austin Banner today. Could that be the difference?
It's not going to hurt him. I can tell you that. And like I say, his presence will be felt. Is he going to be able to make a move into that pace and then be able to hold off the legs, of Whitmore? That's the main question. I mean, Whitmore, you look at his numbers. I mean, his Byers, the way he reeled him off in those sprint wins, just 100 after the other. Kind of like almost an omni-fig sprinting on the dirt. So, yeah, but I like that. Kenny Decker. You think he's nervous? He's calm as a cucumber.
Cool, calm, and collected, yeah.
You walk away from him, got to check, make sure you still got your wallet. He just lulls you in a false sense of security there. Yeah.
Well, we might have had a few scratches in here, but still some 4 very, very talented sprinters who, after this race, could go on and make some noise in some Grade 1s later on this fall, maybe even the Breeders' Cup. So, race 9, a nice running of the Grade 3 to Francis Dash, presented by Express Bet. That race kicks off the late pick 4. One more stake to go. That's right. 7, count them, 7 stake races for you today. Race 10 is the historic Laurel Fraternity for 2-year-olds, 100,000, going 6 furlongs on the turf here. Video spotlight here on the 3. Cheese On for trainer Cal Lynch. A nice, impressive debut win here at Laurel Park for Cheese On. A good win against Allowance Company on the dirt at Delaware in a second start. He was 4th in a stake race at Delaware last out. Turf debut today here for Cheese On with J.D. Acosta aboard.
And the turf debut was a little bit of a question for me. The mare was a really nice dirt sprinter, though she was 0 for 2 on the turf. He doesn't have any siblings that won on the turf, even though he is the full brother to a stakes winner. Keep Mama Happy. She was 0 for 2 on the grass as well. I think this one's got a lot of quality for him. I just wanted to see one on the grass, and he does not meet an easy field on the turf here today. I think he's got some really strong runners to contest with.
We have a stat here with the 5 therapists from the Christophe Clement barn, 2-year-old by Freud. That was a nice debut win coming from off the pace, going 6 furlongs on the turf up there at Belmont early July. Gets Daniel Centeno to ride today. Good to see Christophe Clement with a runner down here. I'm not sure if he's going to be here in person, but always fun to talk to. We hope to see him down here. Therapist, a good shot here in the Laurel Fraternity.
And I think certainly that the 4 Majestic Dunhill is, especially off that last win, the horse to beat, but trying to find some prices underneath. I found this stat. This is on the turf. Maiden winners last time out making their second start. So even if they win first time out, Christophe does a great job keeping them in form. Strong numbers, not a huge sample size, and a positive ROI as well. So this one, I believe, might be a little bit of a price underneath, and again, trying to find a little bit of value. Certainly some questions about this horse, but a couple of nice runners for Christophe in here, and we'll see if he can get in the exacta with maybe some of the shorter prices.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just lose a little bit of value, I think, with the 5, with the scratch of the 7 and the 11 out here. I went back and watched that rerun this morning. That horse was like shot out of a cannon the final 3/16 of a mile. Jock kept her covered up, switched out, and really rolled home. Final 8th. Was it like 10 and change? I mean, just and was kicking away nicely. And you saw the jump that Majestic Dunhill made second time, then third time. I know Lasix went on Majestic Dunhill on the turf. Why can't therapists go ahead and make this same kind of move? I think he's going to have some speed to the outside to run out. Go Willie Go. Shane's Jewel has some speed. Even Stroll Smoking. I think the pace will be okay. I think Therapist is going to love the 6 furlongs. I'm going to use him as a price. My other price shot, the 8. Blue Ridge Scout, a horse we like second time out, stand was 72-1 in debut, but ran sneaky good. You saw the comment, beating 17 lengths mildly the comment after hesitating at the break.
Right.
Caught this horse next time out. They wanted the turf, kept the horse on, and got the job done. The Dam for Passion, strong. This horse is a 3/4 soul driver. It's a graded stakes place, multiple grade 6 on the turf. I think this horse flies under the radar. We know Figgins' first time on the turf hits at a really, really good ROI. Don't leave out the 8 Blue Ridge Scout. Should be double digits.
And we have we have an interview, a brief interview with Kelsey Figgins. We'll play that for you later on this afternoon when we get to the Laurel fraternity. But she had some good things to say about Blue Ridge Scout, of course, trained by her father, Ollie Figgins. Yeah, over $7 positive ROI first turf here for the Ollie Figgins barn.
This is the race. I think we're going to really try to sniff out some prices.
All right, we're getting out of time here. That's it for all the stake races, but still we have the late double to give you here. And the late double, of course, part of the late pick 5 we both like. Let's take a look real quick at race 11. It's a Maryland-bred first-level allowance contest, 6 furlongs on the main track, and I love the 7 victory chimes here for Mary Epler. Alex Cintron will ride his 3-year-old. A good second last out at this level behind Clubman, who came back to win.
That was a very strong race that this horse does come out of, and you see Clubman came back to win with an 80 Beyer speed figure. You also had the third place finisher Willie B. Mine come back and win. I love that this horse has such a good record at the distance too. 5 races, 3 wins in 2 seconds, and especially that 6 furlongs and turning back slightly from the 7 last time. It looks like this is the right spot.
Yeah, I kind of see a redo of the race where they met a few races back at Laurel in June. I think Marty with the party, the last race visually super strong. Will he be able to dictate? I don't know. He's going to be hard sent from the inside. I think he goes ahead, sets the pace. Victory chimes takes aim. Can he go by? Maybe, maybe not. One of these two. Looking for a user underneath. How about the 6 or the 8? Maybe they could split these two favorites. We don't know.
It's a nice Maryland-bred allowance contest there to kick off the late double there in race 11. One more race to go here. The 12th going 5.5 on the turf. Maiden claiming 16,000 filly and mares. And I go to the far outside here, the 13 when all else fails from the Mike Trombetta barn, taking a drop in class here. Had a little freshening since that last July race and gets the red hat Alex Cintron aboard. The 13, my top pick.
That's going to be my top pick as well, actually. I went all the way to the outside. I like that she's never run at this lower level before. She's taking that drop. You do have some horses that have been beaten at this level on the turf already. So training nicely at Fair Hill as well, and Alex Cintron up.
Yeah, her and my top selection, Moonshine Lullaby. They both had trouble in that July 16th race. I like this, tactical advantage of the two. Moonshine Lullaby reached in for 25 for Kieran. Maybe not really quite panning out, but first time Lasix on the grass. Moonshine Lullaby gets the jump on the closers. She's going to have to hang on for dear life.
All right, that's it. We're out of time. 12 live races for you today. 7 stake races featuring the 26th running of the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. That's a grade 3 presented by Express Bet. 6 other turf stakes for you. It's going to be a big day. Acacia, she'll be with us all afternoon along with Tim Tullock. Good luck up there in the press box, Keith, with all your wagers, and a big, busy day.
Oh, it's going to be very busy. A lot of charts, Dan. A lot of horses keeping us very busy up in the press box.
We'll look forward to reading about it. Good luck here. Dave Rodman is coming up next with all of today's scratches and changes.
Good luck.